Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Yes, today we got a new subject, something that I think a lot of men are not aware of, and that is women who date for content. We know about the ladies who date for meals. We know about ladies who literally just want to date for the experience. But we have this whole different woman who dates just for content. It's a frightening sight, and it puts another level of mistrust in the dating market. And I bring it up for a few reasons. Here in Dubai, we have now the equivalent of, are we dating the same guy? You know, that Facebook page started out, I think, in New York, and then it sort of blossomed, and it's pretty much all over the West now. Well, we have one here in Dubai. I can't remember the name of it. Wait, let me pull it up. Because one of my female friends sent it to me, and she felt that for an interesting subject on the channel. Let me pull it up here. So over here, it's called, Whose Guy Is It Anyway? Oh my gosh. She sent me a story of a guy that we both know, that I immediately identified, and I realized that, wow, that's really messed up. Because one thing about Dubai, even though it's quite multicultural and big, it's still a very personal, small city amongst the expat market. So everybody sort of knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? So when you call somebody out, we kind of all know who you're talking about, you know? So this is another part of reputation destruction. Now, it's a private site, and I don't know how they get around the rules here in Dubai, because it is very illegal to defame someone on social media here in Dubai. You can go to jail. Big problems here. You don't do that. You can't even take a picture of someone and put it on social media without their permission. Yeah. And another reason why this triggered me, because you know the outing I did, I went to my friend's birthday party Saturday gone. I did mention it in a previous video. And it was a brunch, Jamaican brunch. And for those of you that have been asking me about this place and what it was named, the place is called Ting Irie. Ting Irie. In other words, it's a short of Everything Irie, which means in Jamaican Pwa, everything is okay. All right, for those of you that didn't know Jamaican Pwa. Now, what I saw at that event was the amount of women who had their camera phones open, just taking videos of themselves, enjoying themselves, and then responding to all the messages that they were getting back and forth, even while they were there at the event, sort of ignoring what's going on around them, you know? Even all the women assisting them with lights from their phones to get the best photo, to get the best light while they pose at these events. And I just looked at it going, wow, this is how bad the dating market has gotten. Now, like I mentioned in another video, there was about an 80-20 ratio of more females to males there. All of this was just done by women who are trying to get other people's attention on the fact that they were at an event, even though they were there alone. I've never seen more women dancing with other women in one place in a long time. I haven't been out in a while, so listen, I don't go to these places anymore, so hey, I don't have a good reference point, right? But my point is, we are in the era where women are literally trying to get as much attention from every single event they participate in, because they know that it's going to get more eyeballs, more validation and attention. So gentlemen, please note that sometimes those dates that you get on Hinge are women who are just looking for content. Women who are looking to be fed, foodie dates, and they're looking for content. And so before we get into the video, please give me a thumbs up on this video. And of course, join the community that we have setting up right now, because you'll get to meet other like-minded people who are serious about life, who are serious about relationships, who want to meet other like-minded people who follow my content. Okay? So my community is opening up this month for sure. Hopefully this week. I've just had to work out a few bugs, but I'm getting there. And of course, if you want to book a session, have a chat with me, get me over at the same place on askanolaman.com. If you have a quick question, get me over on Instagram. Simple, free, send me a voice message and I will send you a voice message in return. Okay? So let's get into the video that we're talking about today. And I found this video on the Men's Only channel. Okay? And this is a young lady talking about her latest date. Here comes the content, my friends.
Okay, I want to talk about something that went wrong on one of my dates with someone that I was excited about, Newport boy, if you've been following my story. I've honestly just kind of lost interest in dating him, but I want to explain why. I feel like maybe this will be a good learning lesson for some men who are out dating and maybe give some insight into how women feel on first dates.
So right away, this is a woman that has options. She's not bad looking at all. Definitely could pass for a 7, 6, 7. She speaks well. She's obviously a content creator. So it should tell you something immediately. Listen, gentlemen, the second you meet women online or in person, doesn't matter. First thing you do is ask them for their socials, IG, TikTok, whatever. And then check out immediately if they do this sort of shit. If they talk about their dates online. If they do, it is an immediate red flag. Abort mission, my friend. Because your name is going to be out there in no time. You don't want to be this guy. Mr. Newport guy, as she put it.
I don't even know how him and I matched on Hinge, to be quite honest, because he lives in Newport Beach, but I was still open to it because obviously I'm just looking for the right guy. Newport Beach is only an hour and a half away from me.
A guy that's an hour and a half away from her location. She don't usually date men outside her area. That's obvious. But we know one thing, gentlemen. For the right guy, woman will break whatever rules she had applied to normal men. We can gather from her what she's saying is that this was above average guy. Let's just call a spade, shall we? So let's call this guy Chad. He's a Chad dude. Okay.
So if he ended up being like wonderful, it's really not that big of a deal. We chatted for a couple weeks. We did a lot of voice messaging back and forth, and I was so excited to go on a first date with him. He ended up driving out to me, which is like, again, an hour and a half drive, which I thought was really thoughtful and I did appreciate. Didn't like plan a date or anything because, you know, he was coming to my hood, which I totally understood. So I planned everything for the first date. Everything seemed pretty great. I really liked him. He was definitely handsome, attractive. And I feel like that same chemistry that we had with like the voice messages was still there in person. The only thing I noticed in person that I feel like you really can't get over text messages or voice messages back and forth on the phone is that I felt like he really dominated the conversation in person, which I would have never known on voice messages because it's just like you send one, they send one. So I didn't have that experience of what it was like to have a real like dynamic in-person conversation with him, and I kind of felt like he took over a lot.
Gentlemen. The woman has to be the star in the date, my friend. If you want to bring a date to a complete halt where the woman not going to call you back, you talk more than her. Don't ever do that on a date. The best thing you can do is just ask her questions. The job is to make that woman talk herself dry. For them, it's almost like having sex when they can just talk. No, you cannot be a dummy because then she will say, oh, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. No, you ask questions. Don't talk about yourself. Ask questions. Note, she has a point. I'm going to be stopping this regularly because I need to teach you guys some lessons on game, okay? Because what she says is right. Don't freaking talk. This applies to any woman. Ask questions. Don't blabber about yourself.
So I was paying attention to that, but that wasn't like enough of a red flag. I just didn't love it. We went to dinner. He paid for dinner, which was great. I always really appreciate when a guy pays for dinner. And then we had already had our first kiss. So when we were saying goodbye to each other at dinner, it was time for me to go home and time for him to go home. We were doing like a goodnight kiss, which was great. I was like all for it. And then he just got really handsy and was like putting his hands like in my shirt, like caressing me up here, and was like grabbing me from underneath, like at the bottom, and like it just was too much. What really bothered me about the situation was I had mentioned like, oh, it's time to go home. It's like 11:30. It was almost midnight and it's our first date. Like, I'm not hooking up with you. Sorry.
Buddy, Chad. Ugh. You don't get handsy with a woman on a date. Now, two things are very clear to me here. Number one, she kissed him before it was end of night. That means there was some tension there. And I could see how poor Chad had the impression that, oh, you know what? She's kissing me at the dinner table. Hey, I can try to lock this thing up tonight, right? Hey, I paid for the meal. Not realizing she was just sucking you in just to make sure that you pay for the damn meal. Come on, boy. Freaking wise up. She had to suck you in enough to make sure that you paid. She had to make you feel that you were going to get it. So you didn't have a problem paying for the meal. You see where he went wrong, gentlemen? Now, listen. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here because I come from that era where the man pays for the first date, period. Right? That's why I don't believe in fine dining for first dates. All right? It's going to have to be a coffee date. If she can't agree on that, then I'm not going. But this guy had a first date at a big meal. So he's going to be dishing out a few dollars. Maybe 100 or 150, I don't know. If it's in California, yeah, you're going to be paying a little bit. Now, he did it because he felt that, hey, I got to first base. I pay for this bill. More than likely I can get to second base. But he pushed it too quickly. He should have waited until they get to a more private location. All of a sudden, he's treating her like a dirty old hoe in the parking lot. No, you don't do that, dude. You don't do that. That was a rookie move. That was a rookie move right there. You always have to keep up the illusion of making her feel special. I am giving you a play-by-play from both sides. Her side and his side. From her side, she sucked him in. She got her meal. She's good. And second, she got her content. So right now, she has nothing to lose. Nothing. She has taken everything she needs from him right now. He's down. There's no balance here. Now she gets to ridicule him online. He's out on 3 hours of driving. 1.5 hours there, 1.5 hours back. 3 hours of his day is screwed. He's out the meal money. And he's out maybe the 2 or 3 or 4 hours that he spent with her. That's him. He's down. She gets everything. See where the problem lies, my friend? So you ladies got to understand that men understand that they are losing when they're dating you. That's why you should never go out for these expensive dates on the first date. Because it's usually a lose-lose situation. Let's continue, shall we? I hope you guys getting this, man.
And in my head, I was just like, I want to get home. And he had mentioned a couple times, like, oh, well, why don't I come over? Like, we can cuddle, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not an idiot. Like, not an idiot. No, you're not coming to my house. I barely know you. I've just met you for the first time. And also, this is our first date. So, like, no, not interested. He asked me 3 different times. Like, answer is no, dude. It kind of, like, ruined my date experience for me, because for the most part I had a pretty good date, and then when he did that I just felt like, I don't know, kind of violated.
Did you violate him when you took his money for your meal? You don't think he felt violated? Do you feel violated when he drove 1.5 hours to get to you? Now he's half sleepy. Now he got to drive back another 1.5 hours to get home. There's no violation worse than actually wasting meat, money, energy, attention, and time. This man has spent all of this on you, and you felt violated. But you kissed him. You admitted that you kissed him. Where's the violation? Because he touched you in places that, what, you didn't want to be touched? You opened up that box, my friend. You could have easily managed that at the table and said, listen, I don't kiss on the first date. I know you want to come back to my house. I know what's going to happen at my house. Let's not do it on the first date. Yes, I find you attractive, but let's postpone it to the next date. And if he had persisted after that, then you would know that this guy don't respect you at all. But that's not the conversation that we're having. We're not having that conversation where you explain these things to a man. Ladies, you all have to understand that if you want results, proper results, you have to specify your boundaries. Because we are in a dating environment where women say they hoes, say that they're bitches, say all the nasty things about how they'll this and they was gawk. We are in that era where men are so damn confused. We don't know what you are and what you would like and how you would like me to treat you. and we have to magically figure it out in a couple of minutes. So you have to understand what men are going through in this dating environment. It's very difficult for men to figure it out because you're not telling us, and you expect us to be mind readers. And when we do one thing, oh, I felt violated. And when we're the nice guy, oh, he was so nice. Oh, he was boring. Men are freaking confused. We don't know what direction to go in because you will give it up to one guy, but you'll make the nice guy wait. Make that shit make sense. Tell me I'm wrong.
I just got very like, oh, okay, like good night. And we left it at that. He even sent me a text message saying something about almost exploding on his way home. I just feel like that's something on a first date. Like for me, the goal is to feel very safe and to feel like you're a gentleman and that you respect me. So the next morning, I just didn't know exactly how I felt about that date. And I didn't say anything to him. I just kept chatting with him. And I was like, maybe he just had like too much wine to drink and he wasn't being himself.
What do you mean he had too much wine to drink? Well, I'm hoping that he did not have too much wine because he had to drive an hour and a half home. Tell me how the hell that would make sense. Here's what I see. You led this guy on. You kissed him at the table. You made him feel freaking comfortable enough that he could touch you in those private areas. You rejected him after you got exactly what you wanted. You wanted to eat and you wanted to get content. And now you're in that beautiful spot where you got everything. Let's hear what else you have to say.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. We talked for a little bit more, and then he asked if I wanted to come down and drive to him in Newport, which to be honest, I was all for because he had mentioned it on our first date. And I was like, yeah, sure, like I'll drive down there. But then that kind of happened at the end of the night. And so I kind of felt uncomfortable driving to him. So I asked him like, okay, well, let me think about it. Like, what would we do? And he was like, oh, I don't know. Like, you could come to my house. I'll make you dinner. And in my head, I'm just thinking like, this is our second date. I don't want to come to your house. If we're in a relationship, I would love to do that. And I would love to have you make me dinner. And I would love...
If we were in a relationship, I would love for you to do that for you. Why is it the conversation not straightforward? Hey, listen, we're not going to have sex until we go through this 2 or 3 times. I don't feel comfortable coming over to you because, my friend, you got a little bit too handsy on our first date. Okay? Why don't you come over here? Okay, we can go out. It's on me, my treat this time because you paid for the last one and I don't want you to feel that I'm using you. Okay? Why don't you come over here? We go somewhere nice. Go do whatever. And let's take it from there and see where it goes. How does that sound? That should be the conversation mature, logical, critical thinking individuals would have. That never happened, did it? Because that wasn't your intention. Your intention is right here. Making content.
Whatever would come after that. But we're like in the beginning phases of dating. So no. And that was pretty much like the final turnoff for me. I ended up telling him like, I don't feel comfortable coming down to you. And I did explain why. I kind of felt like his priorities were maybe hooking up. And even if that wasn't the case, I just didn't feel like he made me feel safe enough in an intimate way to even want to get there with him, if that makes sense. I'm sharing this story because I feel like it is important for men to know that, especially on the first, second, third date, like you should be actively making sure that you're making the woman feel safe and respected. I promise you, like intimacy and all of those other things will follow, but it's not going to happen if you make someone immediately feel like you're pressuring them. So that's why Newport guy didn't work out, and I honestly just lost interest. I'm in the market for a gentleman, and that's what I want.
I tell you guys this all the time. I am so happy I'm off the dating market because, to be honest, if I had to deal with all of this crap at any point in time, I don't know what I would do. I can now seriously understand why so many men have given up on modern women. I would definitely not date or look for a serious woman in the West because the pickings are slim. I don't care how beautiful you are. This type of behavior is sickening, frustrating. This woman just demonstrated that she's making content. Her desire isn't to enter into a real relationship. She's just dating for content, my friend. And gentlemen, be careful of that type of woman. I just want you guys to see this woman, to see the kind of crap men have to deal with.
I am the problem. I went on a date with this guy and he was like, it's getting late. Do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, that's totally fine. Just come over. And I was like, cool. So I go to his place. He respects my wishes. He's so nice. He cuddles me all night. And I'm like, are you gay? Like, what? And like, I just wanted him to like try, and then for me to be like, no, you know what I mean? I wasn't gonna sleep with him. I just now I feel ugly. This is what. Oh my God. Okay, I am the problem.
Yes, you are the problem. Gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about. We never know what a woman really wants. When we respect her wishes, we're sassy, we're gay, because we're gentlemen. So men just don't know where and how to turn. That's the problem with the dating market. These modern women have way too many choices. Well, the illusion of choice, meaning they are still young enough to attract a lot of men, but not realizing that they're about to hit the wall where those choices are going to just disappear in a blink of an eye. Men that are serious. So I just want to finish off with this one video, ladies, for you to understand what men are looking for in today's modern environment. Just listen to this gentleman here.
Do you have your list of what you want?
Yeah, I'm super picky, but I'm gonna start off with the personality traits. So the first thing is, I don't like a super extroverted woman. I don't like main character syndrome. I don't want a woman who thinks it's all about her and the world revolves around her and her feelings. I'll say fairly low in neuroticism, because women are higher in neuroticism than men. I like introverted. I like feminine. I like sweet. I like low key. She has a regular little job. I don't like confrontational women. I don't like women who are really masculine or outspoken, who always are combative or have something to say, who nag, who have a problem with everything. All that's neurotic. But there are a lot more neurotic women nowadays, so I have to be much more careful. And I'm really dismissive when it comes to that. So the moment that I see that you overreact to a situation, or you get really insecure, or you cause conflict and drama over something that I don't perceive to be that deep, especially after I attempt to explain to you what occurred and you're not trying to hear me, I'm done with you.
There we go. Fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. Now, he didn't mention anything about the fit, but the rest, the other three, that's pretty much how he summarized that woman. A woman who wants to get on a man's program, who's willing to work with you, that's pretty much what men want. But this is what we get from women.
Name 5 things that you have to offer a man. Nothing, and nothing. That one. Best friend, nothing. What do you need from a man who you're going to take seriously? Money. That's all you look for. You're not serious though. I am serious. So why would a man even want to look your way if you can't add value to his life?
Well, no, if you ain't got the bag down.
Right. Thank you.
You trying to spend the money down.
So let's say the man has the bag and he wants to spend the money. What does he get back?
I asked him my question, like, what's my favorite color? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, yeah, let's get to know each other. Motherfucking real hair.
Well, we don't keep it shallow over here. We talk about real stuff. Now, when it comes on to the money, why does your man have to have it?
Because I get it.
So how much you make then?
That's none of your business. I'm a nurse, and it's none of your business.
So how much do you want your man to make?
He needs to be in the streets.
Stay down for me to come up.
You want a good guy while you're in the medical field?
I want a good guy, bad guy, whatever brings the money and make me richer. That's what it is. If he can't pay all my bills and take care of what else I got going on, and then no.
Name 5 things that you have to offer a man.
Nothing, and nothing.
My friends, listen. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up on this message if you haven't. And of course, book a session over on askanolderman.com and join our membership program. Let me introduce you to some really good like-minded people. Okay? So until next time, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you soon. Cheers.